Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hello and welcome to the video wrap-up show for the Shrimp Tank podcast in Seattle. I'm Dan Whedon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Linda Popke. Linda and I had a fascinating and fun conversation today with Rachael Kim. Rachael is the founder of Untaboo. To catch the entire episode, and you really should, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find all of our episodes on our website at shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle.
So Rachael, I want to ask you a question. One of the most fascinating parts of the whole podcast, and I do encourage everyone to go listen to the whole thing, was when you were talking about the whole Femtech industry and how it's just exploding. So maybe if you could explain a little bit about what Femtech is and how this is such a big business.
Yeah, so Femtech, it's a phrase coined by Ada Tin. So she's the founder of the period tracking app called Clue. And that's actually one of, I would say, the top ones, so to speak, in the industry. That was really back in the early 2000s. So the term in itself has been around, but the understanding of it or the reach of it is as broad as general well-being for cisgender females and non-binary individuals. But I think a lot of the startup focus has been around fertility, or for us, menstrual care, period care, and then vaginal menstruation, that kind of thing. So it's across the board, and it's not just only on that, but it's really to bring focus to the fact that healthcare for cisgendered individuals has been uneven for a long time. And so hence why the investment has been uneven for a long time. And part of it actually had to do with the history with the FDA, where they did not allow cisgender females into medical studies or clinical studies until the 1980s, right? So anyone who could reproduce could not take part. And because of that disparity, you see a lot of research and investment that's been taken into men's health, but now you've seen a surgence of Femtech. And so right now it's a $26 billion industry to date. So it's not small, it's lucrative, it's bigger. But, in 2025, and this is moderate estimates, it's due to be 50 billion. And within the last 5 years, you've seen a surgence of, from the Kotexes of the world or the Tampaxes to over 200 products. So it's a really exciting time. And I think where consumers really are just trying to understand what's available and what actually works for me to have my best life and my best health. So that's a little bit about Femtech and where it is.
So Rachael, I enjoyed the entire show, but one of my favorite points was when you discussed a question that I asked regarding what can we as parents and grandparents do for the young women in our life, whether they're small, in grade school, or whether they're teenagers. What can we do to help the young women in our world be able to have these types of conversation regarding gender and to be able to be more empowered?
Well, so I mentioned, if you start early on, building confidence for who they are and what they do, right? I think it's very easy, socially speaking, that we're judged physically, and it creates a lot of dysmorphia, whether it's body dysmorphia, but there's other types of dysmorphia as well, which both has a mental and physical aspect. But if you can see the confidence and the support of that person, that itty bitty person at an early stage, that they can try, and it's okay to try and fail, because that's not their value, right? Their value isn't about only success. It's actually being able to start developing the grit and the fortitude to just be themselves and move forward, and also build connections with other people around that. I think, in elementary school, that's a great way to start. Another thing that I mentioned is for teenagers, and we worked with the middle schoolers during COVID, is they're in an identity formation phase, right? Whether it's gender identity or self-identity. So enabling the space, but I think having the resources and the support is really key. And I also mentioned that most people go to their friends first before they go to their parents, then social media for information, and then doctors. And so a really key thing for teenagers is trying to meet them where they're at, right? So the language that they use, and using media, having short pieces of content. So TikTok, it has been a great way to blow up this area And it's not just for females or non-binary individuals, but you also see men, talking about it in a different way. And so it's a sharing of stories and perspectives that I think is really key to create the safe space. And the way that we did it, with this middle schoolers was literally starting with memes, find a period meme, and then I shared my story, our OBGYN shared their story, and then having them talk with them about themselves and understanding, flags of like what is concerning in terms of health and what's not, because everybody's period isn't the same, right? No cycle is the same and no period is the same, even for the individual. So just being able to help them establish, I would say, the framework and boundaries for themselves is a great way to help support that discussion, but also identity formation, which has an impact, in all aspects of their life.
Well, Rachel, it's been wonderful having you here as a guest on the Shrimp Tank. For those people who want to find out how to get in touch with you and learn more about you and Untaboo, where should they go?
Right now, I would say our best channel is Instagram, so at My Untaboo. And if you want to know more about our business or just want to ideate because we love collaborations, Rachael at projectuntaboo.com is a great way to connect with me as well, and LinkedIn.
Fantastic. And everyone, make sure you check out all the replays of this podcast and all of the others we have on shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle and wherever you get your podcast, iHeart, Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, because damn, we are
just ubiquitous, aren't we? We're all over the place. Well, Linda, thank you for joining us today. Rachel, we really enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you and best wishes with everything you're doing with Untaboo. Everyone else, just as Linda said, please join us on our Facebook page. That's where we live stream every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific. And we are going to be doing the next one on December the 8th. Our guest will be Colin Hathaway from Southwest Plumbing. Until we see you again, please be healthy, be prosperous, and have fun. Because for right now, the shrimp is back in the tank. So long.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond.